Come and jump in the ride, hop on the bus. We gon' slide, be outside when we pick you up. Take you to a place where you can open up your mind. Say what you gotta say, and nobody blinks an eye. You on the long bus, with short thoughts, long bus, with short thoughts, long bus, with short thoughts. You on the long bus, with short thoughts, long bus, with short thoughts, long bus, with short thoughts. At the bus stop and whatnot with some blunts in my lunchbox. Enough stock to last the whole show. Got a whole packed road. The place about to go, better keep your glass cold. I jump in, meet my other friends. Big respect, gotta show love to them. You wouldn't believe who the bumping in. Why you looking like that? You coming in? Anyway, this is Matt, that's Steve. What a rich Danny. There's Jason, there's Robin, that's the other Steve. This the whole damn team, the whole stampede. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and speak. Make yourself at home. Here, take a seat. Let your mind free. Hit a little tree. Take a little drink.
How we doing, fellas? Welcome to show 50. Show 50. Yeah, we're getting down there. We two more, and we're going to be at our year.
Getting up to it.
I don't know. I'm getting old, man, and fat. It's hard to get up. I'd rather just get down.
Is it hard to get up?
No. Ain't that a bitch.
That happens when you get old.
And we're off. There's another new button.
Yeah.
So we're going to get the business out of the way here. Like, share, subscribe. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Habits Glass and Goodies, 3 locations
And
here
soon
in
to
Omaha.
be hymns.
Habits
I
is
get targeted ads all day.
They sell it all. Fucking boner pills, Ozempic, everything. You losing hair? Fucking, you can get it all.
My hair's great.
You can become the man you didn't know you could be.
You do got that nice hair, Justin.
It's a great pitch.
Clay's got the good hair too, so I
I got a bad hairline now, so we're just gonna keep it covered up.
I got you.
Well,
All right.
Hims actually has a new.
So we're good. We got Steve here today. We got Rich. We got Danny. We got Strawstone, and then we got Clayton, who is C10.
What's up, man?
Yeah, welcome to the show, buddy. We'll get you with the whole.
I love being praised.
Oh, I hit
We just do this the whole time.
it. Yeah, just keep hitting the button. Run the applause. So, are you originally from Nebraska?
Yeah, I was born in Omaha, but I was raised in Plattsmouth, and I started coming out to Omaha when I was like 15 or 16. I had a friend that was a rapper, and his dad was like a manager, so that was about when I started coming out here. But yeah,
Were they in Omaha or Plattsmouth?
Plattsmouth.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, how I met Strawstone was through those guys. His name was Scott. He was like he did like booking, and his son was a rapper, and they had like a studio basement. It's actually where I got my start. Whatever, but yeah, I started coming out to shows, and Scott started booking this group called Dab Squad that Straw was a part of. Yeah, him and Mike Fantastic and Rush One. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So that's how I like met everybody out here. But yeah, I'm from Nebraska to answer
That's all right. Yeah.
that question. Yeah.
So, how old are you?
27.
Oh, you lucky fucker.
Yeah, we can do it again. Hims doesn't have that.
Yeah, they don't got that. You got any kids or anything?
No,
All right.
no. But I have a bunch of siblings. I'm like the oldest of 9, so it's like low key got kids. But
Bro,
yeah,
with that many children, like
yeah,
brothers, sisters,
Yeah.
you kind of like it might make me stand off of having, like I'm gonna chill out.
yeah,
for a
yeah,
minute.
exactly. Yeah,
I know
yeah.
my 14-year-old,
Yeah.
after dealing with younger brothers, has been like, I'm going to be
Yeah,
40.
I want kids. Like, don't get it twisted. I definitely do. But if it wasn't for Straw, I'd be like, yo, dude, like, calm down. I probably wouldn't have a few by now. But yeah, no, I definitely want to.
He'll be a great dad, but I'm like, you got so many cool things to do. Like,
Yeah.
it'll probably happen on accident at a really cool time anyway. So
Yeah,
I don't do
100%.
anything dumb. You know?
Yeah, because I've had a few girls where I've been like, I got to lock it in. But super glad I didn't.
Gotta lock
Found
it
it
in.
crazy later.
What do you do for work?
Commercial garage doors. It's boring as shit. Like, but yeah, it's a big company. I won Tech of the Year. You know.
Hey.
So,
Hey, AG Strange is a garage door guy too. Isn't he?
Yeah. We actually I see him sometimes. We go pick up parts from his job and shit all the time. So yeah, but
That's what's up. Are you guys with the same company or?
no, he works for a different company.
All right.
I work for a better company.
There it is.
We do better work. Than
Sounds like they have the parts. Though.
yeah, they have the parts.
Shout out to AG.
Yeah. Shout out Strange and Dre.
Yeah.
I guess where as a kid, where did your love of music come from?
Oh, okay. So my dad would like get wasted, and it would either be good or bad. But when it was good, it was going in the garage and we just open it up and he'd blast like Iron Maiden or Metallica or whatever song, and we'd all have like a broom and shit, and we pretend to be the band, So like, and then he got me like a drum kit at a young age and stuff, and like so I just grew up around my dad being super super into music. So then I started to rebel against him, and he didn't like rap music, and I was like, oh, what better thing to do than like start rapping? So that like led me to becoming friends with my homie that rapped and coming out into the scene. But I get my love of music from my dad for sure, and like my interest in it and all that shit.
That's cool that you have those memories, even
Yeah.
whether good or bad.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah, no, 100%. Yeah,
I'm sure that my kids will have that memory when I get older of
yeah.
the singing on the way to school and things like that.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Your kids are gonna grow up to just be huge country fans. I can't stand rap. Fucking-
But we listen to some Zach Bryan and some
right.
stuff like that. I try to keep them away from the music that I was listening to.
right.
You know what I mean? Just
Right.
to, I don't know.
You just gotta. I mean, they'll start singing all kind of opera and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Just to rebel against that.
okay.
Yeah.
I fuck with some opera though, so they're gonna. It's hard to get away. Like the right music, I'll listen to any genre as long as it's decent.
Yeah, that's how I feel, 100%. Like I went to Catholic school, and like my grandparents were like a huge part of my upbringing, and all they listened to was like country and gospel. So like I'm really into country and gospel, and then metal, and like rock from my dad. And then the hip hop just comes from like delving into it through like when because I grew up right when streaming music like on Spotify was like becoming a thing. But I used to have like music I would steal off Napster and put on my MP3 player.
Are you old
and
enough
all
to
that.
steal music off of Napster?
Yeah. I'm in that weird age spot where like I was alive during 9/11, but I didn't have like my prefrontal cortex at all, so I don't remember 9/11 or any of the aftermath of it. But like I learned about it in school as if I wasn't alive, So I'm like in that weird spot where like the iPhone became a regular thing when I was like a junior in high school. You know what I mean? So
We were rocking pagers.
yeah, I was
We
right.
had BlackBerry before iPhone.
Yeah, that's true.
BlackBerry was
Big ass flip phone.
Yeah,
Motorola's.
my first phone was a flip phone shit because
Yeah.
smartphones weren't even like a thing
Right.
yet, So.
Nokia.
Right.
those bricks.
So how long have you been doing music?
Shit. I don't know. I guess like I didn't take it seriously until I was like 18, but I started like fucking around with writing songs when I was like 16. But I put out my first project I put out was actually for school for creative writing. One of the assignments was write a song, so I did that and I got a good grade. And our final was do a big version of any of that. So I made an album about a school shooter for my creative writing final. And
Did you pass that?
It's called the Trenchcoat LP.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, dude,
Did you pass
dude.
that?
Hey, this one.
No, I got a 96 on my final with it.
Holy shit.
He was like, it's good. He was like, you're right. The writing is there. He's like, but I would recommend just not putting this out
Right.
like for the public. Like, so I put it out on SoundCloud. And
Well, we were the
Yeah.
we were the Columbine generation, and like
Yeah.
the kids in trench coat. I still see a dude in the street in a trench coat, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"What you
See,
doing, bro?"
And then I'm in the generation right after that with like where Tyler the Creator, when he was coming up, was making songs like "Kill People, Burn Shit, Fuck School." Where like that became like just like talking about that stuff was like the zeitgeist of like
We don't condone
my-
any of this.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I don't either, and I didn't then, whatever. I was just like, I was a pissed off teenager, and I was like, oh, I get to make a rap project for school. Like, all right, let's see how far I can take it. And luckily, I had like a cool teacher who didn't like go to like my principal, like, yo, this dude is
Yeah,
talking about
yeah, you wrote a
atrocities.
great song, but the police are on their way.
Yeah, 100%.
I know you're kind of a gym guy. You
Oh,
should.
yeah.
Congratulations on the weight loss, dude.
Thank
I
you.
went
Thank you.
back in some pictures, and you
See, yeah,
come away, bro.
yeah, 100%.
Getting after it.
So
So,
Olympic free.
Yeah,
other than the gym, do you have any like vents?
like,
How do you get rid of the angry Clay? I know, bro.
oh yeah,
I
shit.
just again looking at your Facebook.
yeah,
I have suffered from anger issues myself in the past.
yeah.
So this is me like how you dealing with that, bro?
100%. That's actually something I've really had to put a lot of mental work into conquer because I grew up in an environment where like anger and arguing was like the answer to every problem, and I just kind of like adopted that. But a lot of it was just realizing like I was driving people away in my life that I really cared about by letting my anger and like my quick emotion, the first emotion, being like my reaction. I don't know. So it was just a lot of like putting in the effort in the moment to not react with anger, and it's just like I still do. Like there's still moments where I'm like, "Fuck! Like why did I respond like that?" You know, but. I don't know. It was just I don't really have any other events. I grew up wrestling and stuff like that, but jujitsu is fucking expensive. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm not
Well,
trying to
you're
do
a
it
big
out.
dude. Even your homies are going to be like, I don't know about the wrestling thing, bro.
Oh, I know. I'll fuck some. I'll wrestle. Like if I got into jujitsu, I could probably start like beyond white belt just from like whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I want to get into that, but lifting weights really does like help me because I go 3 days on, 1 day off, so I'm going like 6 days a week, and I go hard. Like I double dose pre-workout. I can just go in there and throw around the heaviest weight that I can.
Yeah.
But
I haven't found my way to the gym yet. It is hard out where I live. There's one gym, and they won't allow the kids there. Excuses. Yeah, but so I've walked. So I walk.
What are the orders of belts? What are the colors?
Oh,
It's like white, yellow.
green,
I wanted to know where he just projected himself.
purple, dude.
I'm a solid red, bro.
That was the most dude thing I've ever heard. I feel like all of us. I mean, I'm probably not a black belt, but I'm probably.
I feel like I could take on Joe Rogan if I needed to. You know what I'm saying?
I like to party.
He's fucking tough, man. I wrestled him.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. I like fighting.
Yeah. So that was my problem too. Is I was always so willing to fight
Yeah.
that it was never shutting down the beast.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't want to fight me. Like, on our tours and stuff, there was a couple times where the venue might not have had security or whatever, so I had to like play a big role in being the big physical presence. And I prefer to just de-escalate, but a lot of the time people just don't. Once they realize how big I am, they don't even want to test the waters.
Yeah.
So, and that's like
I've seen him bear hug people and walk them out quietly more than once. I'm like, you good? He's like,
as he's carrying them.
Yeah, I'm a de-escalator, but like I grew up fighting my brothers. I think that was how I used to beat the shit out of my brothers. Like
A lot of testosterone going around.
yeah, dude.
So how many brothers and sisters you got?
9, he said.
Yeah,
no,
I was got off the top of my
what's-
head. I have 3 sisters and 6 brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So,
You got a farm out in Plattsmouth, or
no,
I just didn't know if the parents had you working, like back
I mean,
in the day.
I always would do I would push my lawnmower around during the summers and go make money and shit. Like I've always been a worker. My dad always instilled that in me. We don't come for money, so you're gonna have to go out there and put in work. So
9 kids,
he
you
always
can't
had-
have money.
no, and I grew up with a wood burning stove too. I guess that's probably where my frame comes from. We for 10 years, we didn't have gas furnace. It was spending the summers 6 a.m. on a tree line at when I'm 10, 11 years old, cutting down trees with my dad. And being the oldest, I was the one out there picking up, deadlifting 200-pound logs when I was young. Putting them up on the splitter and all that shit. So that's where my base frame comes from. But played football and then powerlifting in high school and shit. So
Dad, a big guy.
he's tall, big shoulders, but he's I'm way bigger than him. I probably have over 100 pounds on my dad. So,
Okay,
yeah.
that's kind of the way I am too. I don't know where my size came from, but
Yeah.
I was the kid that got put all the work to.
Bro, I know where the signs came from. Well, leave it alone.
What
But yeah, now all my kids are huge,
That was
dude.
in
Like
your
when I
mind,
go to the store to buy milk, it's 9 gallons at
Yeah.
a time. It's ridiculous.
No, for sure. Well, I'm the short one out of all my brothers too. I'm 6'5". They all tower over me.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 3-4 inches.
I didn't realize you were that big when you walked in.
Yeah, I've mastered the art of distance. Where no one has to lift or raise their head, so it's you don't tell until I'm standing next to you.
Right.
There's people that know me for years, that stand next to me. And they're like, "Dude, you really fucking are
Yeah,
tall."
that's
I'm like,
great.
"Yeah." What do you mean?
No, the first time I met you, it was outside of not the waiting
Reverb?
room, the Reverb.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And I was like, this dude's actually tall as shit.
Yeah, I get that reaction a lot.
So, if you had 3 songs to point a new listener to,
Mm.
that who is C10, where would we start?
Probably I have a song called Tucson. It's pretty much it's a good identifier of what the vibe of most of my music is. Like it's a lot of it's like relationships. Like I rap about personal relationships a lot, whether it be friends, family, romantic shit. But yeah, that song. Probably Glue. It's another song from the same album. More of like a poppy vibe. I like to sing, which might surprise people too. Like I like to play the melodies a lot, and I produce a lot of my own stuff, so it's like makes it I can do more with that now, which is super cool. But then probably I'd probably say FOMO, just to like hear because I'm like a lo-fi. I like to get on lo-fi beats and just like play with flow a lot, and that's a song where that like really embodies that part of what I do. So yeah, 2-song Glue and FOMO are probably
You definitely have
songs
a
I'd recommend.
kicking it vibe
Yeah.
to your music. It's very laid back, and
Yeah,
you can
for sure.
relax to it.
Yeah, that's what kind of what I go for because a lot of it, like when I first started doing it, like I said, I made that project for school, but then it was just I had a friend who was actually like kind of generating a good buzz and doing that, so I was just like, oh, let me play around with this, and I just started making music that I like to sit and listen to, like if I could smoke a blunt to it after I made it and like just vibe to it, like I didn't make it, then I was like, all right, cool, this is going on the next project, like that. And that's kind of always been my creative process. Like, do I vibe with this song?
Yeah.
So.
As far as local artists, is there somebody that you've worked with that you thought was super dope? And
Yeah.
is there somebody you would like to work with that you think is
Yes.
super dope?
Yes to both. So Jay Chrome was like one of the first artists, like when I was starting to come into the scene that I'd heard of, and he was doing his thing like big. He still is obviously, but like he was really out here when I was coming around the scene. And then I shout out Dave Campbell. He booked me on a show called New Music Monday. Or no, it was Pandora's Box with Jay Chrome, and I'd wanted to work with him. I'd heard of him. I liked what he was doing a lot. And then after my set on that show, Jay Chrome came up to me and was like, "Hey, dude, let's work." So that was really cool. That was an artist I wanted to work with that I got to. And an artist that I really want to work with here in Omaha is obviously like King ISO, and that's there's some stuff lined up that I'm working with him. But he's someone that like since I heard his music, like Jim Carrey was the first song I heard by ISO. Like right before Straw started working with him, and I was like, yeah, like I need to like work with this guy just because of the soul in his music, So.
Dude, that was one of the hardest, like the easiest and hardest shows to edit was, everything the dude said was gold. You didn't know when to start and stop it.
Right, yeah.
I spent a lot of time watching that sucker over and over.
Yeah, dude, he's got so much wisdom. Every time I'm around him, even if it's just like him and Straw are talking and I'm just in the room, like there's always, I learn something new from him. Like whether it be how to carry yourself, like, when you're doing too much, like, he came up to me after a set one time and he was like, "Your set was great." He's like, "But make sure you plan when you drink your water." And I was like, "That's like I never thought of that." Like, so he's always out here like trying to help everybody, no matter what level they're at, too, in the city. And so, and he's been like that since I've been around him. So like that was.
I can't say that I've been to a show that I haven't seen him pop up at.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, he's popped out to a lot of mine just to show love, and I see him come at all types of shows. Like Sean, like ISO's coming out. I'm like, what? So
he always comes out dressed to the nines.
right.
It's always more like ISO's coming out. Just kidding. I love
Yeah. So you said you have some new music coming out here.
Yeah. Yes.
It'll be actually tomorrow when this
When this drops.
yeah, it'll be the next
Go
day.
stream Clay Jack Horseburn 2 on all platforms. But yeah, it's the follow up to an album I put out during COVID called Clay Jack Horseburn. Like I love that show, and I was just kind of in a space where I just wanted to put out something like different than what I'd been doing. I was like really like conceptual on an idea rather than like a thing with my project. So I was like, oh, let me. Like I said, I just love that show. I was like, let me make a character and see how that plays out. And then I started telling people about it. And they're like, oh, that's fucking sick. So I ran with it and put it out. And it was really slow starting. Didn't get a whole lot of love. I think it was my second project I put out on streaming platforms, like legit ones. And then it just got picked up by like thousands of like lo-fi and BoJack is Suicidal type titled playlists, which just shot all the streaming up, and it's got like almost 400,000 streams just on Spotify now.
Yeah.
And like I'd already thought about doing an episode 2, part 2 type of thing before that. I'd already started working on it before the numbers took off than they did. So Yeah, this is a project I've been working on since like 2020. The follow up, Kojak Horseburn 2. So, so I'm excited and nervous and all that to follow up like my most successful project. So.
I was going to ask you where the Horseman came from.
Yeah, from BoJack Horseman. Which it's just like, it's just a dope show. It's just like, it seems like it's just another like Family Guy or whatever bullshit animated show until you really start watching it, and then it gets into like mental health and like behind the scenes stuff and like entertainment and stuff. So that really resonated with me, and like how people can snake you and how things get manipulated against you, and just like how if you want to put yourself in the limelight, like you're really doing a big thing. Like it's nothing to just like people look at getting famous as like just a casual thing these days, but it's like all the consequences of your actions amplified to the X degree when you get famous in that show. It's just a cool perspective to see.
No, it's honestly a show I had never heard of, and now I'm curious.
You should watch it. It's for Will Arnett from Arrested Development, and like it's a star-studded show. Fucking Aaron Paul, the guy who plays Jesse in Breaking Bad, voices one of the characters. Like, so it's really good. Yeah, it's a great show. So
I'll have to.
Yeah, and it's got like a cult following too, which is really cool. Like that, like my music got picked up by that following to some degree, which is just fucking because I'm a huge fan of the show. So I hope that amplifies.
I never heard of it either.
No, yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's like okay, so
but we're 20 years older than you too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a quick breakdown of it is like this Bob Saget. It's a show about anthropomorphic animals, or like people, and fucking this character BoJack Horseman is basically like the Bob Saget of that universe. Was on a fucking sitcom in the '80s, and it picks up him being just a millionaire with no direction, and then it goes from there, and it just like builds the world. It's super good, and it gets into like mental health and just like a whole bunch of shit in a really dope way.
It gets pretty dark.
It gets really dark. Yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of fucked up shit that happens, which I love that.
Well,
Squid Games is popular for a reason.
I was a fan of Squid Games. I liked the Beast games, even just the idea that you don't have to die, but you can still play the game.
Right. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, Kojak Horseburn 2, March 9th. Yeah.
And I believe you have a show tonight.
Oh, yeah,
it
would be the show.
At the Reaver. Holy shit, we gotta go pretty soon.
Let's
I
go.
hope to see you there.
Yeah.
Because today is March 8th.
So we're celebrating the release with the show also at the Reverb Lounge. Got me headlining, and we got Mumbles, Tidro, Ace, Sugar Cones, Jamie Triller, Surreal MC, DJ, and Decent Dogs will be there. $10 pre-sale, $15 at the door tonight. Get your tickets, $10 now, or give us $5 extra later. That works. For
Get your Decent Dog on the way in.
Yeah, got
Couple of
beef
them.
hot dogs.
Yeah.
Get yourself a flight,
Buy 3 hot dogs, get a ticket for free.
and then stream the album.
He's like,
At this
fuck that.
point,
Johnson like, hold on, calm down.
Do you do any physical copies or just stream?
I am working on having physical copies this time around, but it's just working on it. I want to get vinyls is why I really want to, but I want to have CDs. I don't want to say yes because like I'm waiting on confirmation from my guy right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll say yes. Fuck it, I'll have CDs at the show.
Now you got to call, bro. I made promises.
Dude,
I actually have them under this table right now. I'll see you. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Justin's thinking we're
No,
not.
but I did a color series in 2023 where I did like 4-song EPs. I dropped like every month or two just to like fill in the void of I wasn't really working on any project. Like I kept reshaping Kojak Horseburn, and I was like I want to put music out. So like it was kind of like pandemic therapy where I was just like each one's a colors. There's blue, green, pink, yellow, and orange. Yeah, each set of songs represents like a different feel, like based on what the color is. That's the concept. But I want to do like 6 compact discs, those old school fucking like crystal cases. I want to do something like that of that series. Yeah, so I'm working on that, but it's just so expensive.
You want to have a rainbow?
Yeah.
Are you looking for a rainbow?
Pause, dude. Yeah, but
No, that's awesome. I love the way that it seems like all the artists that we've had in here. I mean, even DJ Doc, when he was like, "Yeah, I got the trilogy," and he didn't give us the names, but he worked out the thought process for us. And
Doc was lying. No kidding. He's just making shit up. I'm just kidding. I love that.
But I mean, just the writing processes and the thought processes. I'm like, yeah, I can make something happen the first thing, but then they're like, and what do you want to do with this website? And I'm like, I want it to be a website, bro.
Yeah,
I want it to sell things and
Yeah.
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 I don't know what I want on it. I just want the website.
Yeah.
Always looking at what's next or what can grow or do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hardest part isn't really even like, it's like, damn, I lost my thought. Fucking stoned. But I think the hard part with like the creative process isn't as much as like coming up with it. That's what I was gonna say. It's not as much coming up with it for me as it is like how are these people gonna receive it, which is like a new pressure that I didn't feel until we started. Straw took me on tour, and then I got invited back on another tour, and I was like, oh shit, this is real. Like people are looking at me. So I was like, how are people? Like that, I feel like that's the real stressor. Like because you said you were just impressed with like how people like creatives just come up with it. I feel like when you're a true creative, it kind of flows through you more than like you come up with it. But yeah, then it's just like when you're the face of that idea now, it's like fuck. Like if this isn't good, like I'm not good, and it's, that validation you seek from like the feedback of the crowd is just like grows more and more. So I feel like that. Yeah.
Well, don't let it be a stressor.
No, it's
Because I mean, part of this, you've said you're kind of doing it for yourself, for your own,
yeah,
part of it. Like who, I mean, obviously you want them to you want the crowd to like it, but like if you're doing it more for you, like let it be that. Don't start taking on that second.
On paper, I agree with you, dude. It's just so impossible to not be like heart beating out of your chest right before you step on stage. In a good way. It's like because I want to present my idea fully and I want to present it well, So I don't think that anxiety to a certain degree is even like a bad thing.
Well, yeah, it's your baby.
Yeah.
Your music is your baby. You want to deliver it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So other than your album release show, do you got anything coming up? Are you on the Glizzy Fest roster?
No, I'm not on the Glizzy Fest
shit.
roster. No, I'm sure I'll be there helping out like with Straw, wherever he needs, as I am most of our events. But I have another show March 1st in Sioux City with the homie Dakota Faye. Yeah,
okay.
He's got his tour going on for the Uninvited Guest album. So invited me to come be a part of that show out there. Probably would have done the Omaha one, but it's super close to the Clay Jack Horseman release show. So yeah, that's all I've really got booked right now, right? I don't think I have anything else.
We got some things to talk about.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Well, Justin's a busy man. He's booking tours and
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's kind of been a thing since the beginning to where I try to involve everyone into like my thought process, but he's like found out like his summer schedule like when everyone else has before. Like, oh, I'm doing these 4 dates. Like
100%. Sometimes it's like, hey, we're announcing this show and you're on it, and we're announcing it tonight. And I'm like, all right.
That does make me a little bit of a piece of shit, but it's from a good place.
Yeah,
and
I
he's
know
also
that.
very flexible, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, because our origin, dude, like I met Straw, he wasn't necessarily like as put together with like things as he is now when I met him, and I was 16. Like my first interaction with Straw was like some bar fight that broke out because some drunk dude was messing with a girl, and Straw was trying to push through, and I had to like grab Straw, and be like, dude, think about your kids, like don't do this type of thing.
I'm like, they should see this. No.
But no, like I've seen him just like build, so it's like it's easy for me to be patient with Straw, like and know that like no matter like how last second it is, like it's coming from a place of like growth because I've just seen that nonstop from like that point to like where he's at now.
He has your best interest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Let's bring it back to the Lookout Lounge. So he touched earlier about Scott and coming out with kind of coming up with his son and that grouping. He was like support and like security for him, and then he started making his own music, and it's really good, like really good. When I started booking shows, though, Scott and that situation kind of went away, and our homie was just kind of stuck in the wind with a lot of fucking trust issues, like coming from his childhood, and I come from a very similar type of situation. So when I started booking shows, he knew me as the wildest member of a group called Dab Squad. Like I was the guy showing up late, getting drunk, trying to fight. Like I would never book my ass, And but when I jumped over to the booking side, I was like trying to do the right things for things. And I remember we got into a fight with. There's Doobie is a really big artist that he was excited that was coming. At that point, he wasn't opening for him because he wasn't like active with me like that yet. But we got one of his guys threw a glass at a bartender. They got pushed out. I had to like fucking tough guy him, push him out the door type shit. And Clayton, after everything's cleared out, we're like, holy fuck, that was crazy. Still a good show, but fuck, that sucks. Probably won't book them again, And he made his way back in the bar, young kid, and he's like, you fucked up. Like, fucking, now Doobie's never going to work with us again and this and that. And I just like he was just telling me what a piece of shit I was pretty much. And I was like, I don't think you understand what's happening here at all. But I only bring that up just to say, like, within that next 6 months after a few conversations, I ended up starting a company, like bringing his homie Jay Influential and Cult Classic, Marquise is Dead, Travis Finch on as like part of my team, which I don't recommend anyone really does that, but it was cool because I went from being like with the old guys fucking off to now I have these young guys like counting on me to help them be the new old guys, to be the new vets type of thing. And Clayton came soon after with that. And I just think that the best relationships start with that in your face, fuck you mentality. You know what I mean? Like prove it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, like, if I needed anything, I would hit up Clayton.
Yeah,
or
vice versa.
And it's like I just like when people are meeting people, and if things ain't right, don't sugarcoat shit.
Yeah.
Fucking yell about it, talk it out, fucking be yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna unveil some shit that ain't real later on.
Right, 100%. Well, just to build on that too, I remember you called me. I was working at DJ's Dugout to tell me, "Oh, I'm getting Cult Classic and Finch. Like, come work with me." And I was like, I don't know, dude. I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of just like doing all right with the freelancing. And then he was like, Straw was like, no, like, fucking, dude, trust me. It was like a 45-minute conversation. Like, I got in trouble at work for being outside. But he's like, fucking trust me. So that conversation was where I was like, all right, take the leap of faith. Like, Scott also was somebody who I really like looked up to, and he was there for me. So I asked his opinion. He's like, yeah, he's like, trust Straw. Like, people change, things change. So I was like, all right, fuck it. And I'm glad I did, because fucking Straw took me along with him. Didn't have to on the first tour with Doobie and Caskey, and I got to just meet a bunch of people. It was like
they're also part of the first tour we ever booked.
Yeah, May Flowers.
The May Flowers tour was, which
So
was my wife, him, and Cult Classic.
Yeah,
You did get to work with Doobie again after that, then.
What's funny about that? That's why I was going to bring it back full circle, because he also mentioned that some people are bad at bragging about themselves, but he did some cool shit with that, to where it became like, yeah, you should book him, being like a young guy, being like, yeah, that'd be really cool to have him there, to being pissed at me for kicking his team out the building, to then working together. And then I brought him back around and we did 3 dates. And I think he maybe opened.
No, me and Jay went. Jay opened, and I was just hanging out.
Right. So I was like building my relationship with him and did 3 dates. And then all of a sudden we were doing like 6 dates. Well, he got to, when I build things, we can do things for ourselves sometimes. And that's what's cool about being the guy bringing things and building things, when you have your people you care about too. Because I bought 6 of those dates, and I was like, I get 4 to 5 openers per date. I'm like, well, one's with me. You know what I mean? He's going to be the guy with me, and he's going to open every night. And if you do some shit like that, though, you got to be real careful, because you don't want to disrespect the real locals in the other town. You don't want your person to act like they're part of the actual tour, because you're with them for 6 dates. They're out there for 30. Yeah. You can be close. So like I don't remember, it all runs together, but Otis was part of this too on the last one. So we'll jump forward to when he was invited back, and he got to do 10 dates with them. Yeah. So he did my 7, and then they invited him on another 3. Yeah. And I just remember, like, before that though, I'm like, hey man, it's the first day, like, we know them, so say hi, be cool, get pictures, whatever. I was like, but don't be acting like you're part of their team, let's show them that we're here to fucking work. And when the local part runs real smooth again, that's our bread and butter. That's where we look cool. That's our cool points, Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I got you. He was there loading shit in. The first night was going great. And I had to go talk to Joey about something. He brings me up on the bus. Clayton's on there taking a big fat dad. But I did the cool dad thing. I act like I didn't see. I was like, just kind of what's up, everybody, and acting like cool. Then afterwards, I was like, okay, I guess we're in.
I got invited on the bus. I was not going to say no to doing drugs with Doobie on this team. I was working hard to earn it.
Dude, he was awesome. He became like my number 2 on that. Otis was very helpful too, but he became like my number 2, to where. That means we have this character named Joe Money. Shout out to Joe Money.
Joe. What's up, Joe?
Joe Money was the tour manager for this Doobie show. And I didn't mention that Doobie show, they all got kicked out. That was my first attempt at ever doing a national show. Yeah. It was 250 people at the Lookout. Fucking wild as shit. I didn't know how anything works. Like ticket I had like ticket money this way. I didn't know how. Like I knew what I had to settle up, but I hadn't done contracts and shit before.
Yeah.
Well, in walks like a movie casted character of what a tour manager would be. I'm talking fucking tracksuit, gold chain. I'm Joe Money, and I'm like like fucking. And then he stood behind me all night and was like, "There's like it's like we had 4 openers. We're on opener 2." He's like, probably just cut the next 2. I was like, no, like, and I didn't know if that was normal that someone would ask me to cut local art. I'm like, no, they push tickets,
Right.
Joe. And I'm like,
Yeah.
At this point, I don't have any cool points from anything I'm doing yet, or no one has told me I'm
it's
good
like
at what
the
I'm doing.
beginning,
I'm still just like, oh God, I'm doing this, you know. And so this motherfucker just gave me the worst night of my life. End of the night, though, we made a bunch of money. He got paid what he was supposed to, and I only bring that up to bring up when he was working with me though. He became Joe's like assistant.
Yeah,
and that,
straight up,
I feel like that's boot camp of live music industry I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I learned
big
so
man.
much. Yeah, it'd be like I would be chilling every time I have a second to chill. Joe Money, C10, hey, come do this thing for me, bro. Like he abused
This
me,
guy
bro.
walked out. So we're in Springfield, Missouri. We have like a 300 to 400 person show. It's killing it.
Yeah,
And Joe Money walks out and he goes, he looks across the street and there's like a sold out club full of like college kids. And he goes, "Hey C10, what's that?" And C10's like, "I don't know. It looks like a club, Joe." And he goes, "Shut it down." And C10 looks over at me like, what the fuck do I do? You know, I can't go shut the bar down across the street. Like so far, every request he's been able to like at least try. You know, like the look of lost hope. Like, okay, there is no pleasing this person.
Oh, my
You
God.
just go in and fucking start.
Certified
Start throwing
hitman.
chairs
Yeah,
up.
Dude, he was,
Shut the bar down.
Certified
yeah,
hitman.
dude, he was like that too. He was.
Dude, he was. Joe Money was about it. I love Joe.
I learned so much from that.
No, sir.
That's funny.
No, and I like being his bitch for that first time because I was, dude. Because Straw's energy was like, we were here, you know, to show them respect, like, you know, like you at the snap of a finger type energy. And I was like, all right, yeah, this is my first tour. Like, I need to earn my stripes and get to the right people. So I did, but I think that arguably is what got me invited back. Like because it was Kasky and Doobie the first time, you know, so it was a lot more chaotic. But the second time around, it was a lot more chill. Like we already knew the rhythm. Like I felt more like hanging out with the boys kind of environment, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just like putting in that work. That's one like piece of advice I would give to like artists to have any opportunity like that is like just stay in your fucking lane, like be there for the people that are like putting you in position, you know, and just like build your reputation, like work hard, you know.
Is it fun working with Otis?
Oh yeah, Otis, yeah. Otis is kind of a diva in a lot of ways too, like in ways you wouldn't expect, like at all. You know, just knowing Otis Julius. But yeah, I love Otis.
Otis
Like, he
teaches
became
you how to
friend.
protect your art.
Yeah,
who you
100%,
are. You're
yeah.
like because Otis has been an underdog his whole life, so he does have a little bit of a diva like vibe to him, but in like a fun way, but also like
He will stand on what
Yeah,
the fuck he believes in.
yeah, and he'll stand up for you
Yeah.
too. But yeah, he's again, that's another person I've learned so much from Otis. So
Yeah, you wouldn't expect Otis to be as like no, like about because you know his whole character or like you know his art is like very friendly, very like positive.
Oh, yeah.
Like he is that person, but when it comes down to it, like he will put his fucking foot
But
down.
it
My-
is
My
He showed me
my
a lot.
kids mess with Julius
Yeah.
a ton.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's something they can listen to, and
Yeah.
like you said, it's got that positivity
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it and things.
He's got a
It's-
great message.
you should have seen Otis when he was the van driver he drove the van for a few of the King ISO tours. And he like became de facto security. The guy that of that group, you got all these big motherfuckers. And you got the curly haired bullet guy. And like I'll never forget in Chicago, we're in the back room, and this guy, I'm not going to drop his name, but a rapper from the area showed up, who always shows up, and he has his friend with him, and they come like with a posse, and we're like, "Hey, do you want so and so back?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can let him back." And so he walked by, and then his friend, whose name is, I'm just going to say it, Big Truck, and he looks like a big fucking truck. Otis went, "Hold on, bud. Is this guy okay too?" We get to see Otis soon. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I fucking love
he's
Otis. I
coming.
miss that dude.
We're gonna have to talk. I may have to see him while he's in.
I got to see him when he was on that Shaggy tour. I popped up for that.
We'll
That was pretty
we'll
cool.
chat about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
I could call him and make something happen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I put out a post the other day about who would you guys like to see, and he was tagged in there and said, "Well, I'd love to."
He'd
if we
be a
could
great
get it."
podcast.
Yeah.
100%. He's got a lot. He's like he knows the industry like really well too. Being out in LA, he's done a lot. Like he's in a lot of like big shit like that you wouldn't expect. Like you know that Roxanne song?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that
Roxanne,
music video.
Roxanne.
Otis is in
Yeah,
that
he's
video.
doing a cannonball
Into
in that
the
video
pool.
that has like 200 million views.
Yeah.
We were out there with King ISO, and he's like,
don't show nobody this, but I've done some Gucci campaigns, and I was also on this very viral video. And he's like, Cannibal! Like, you know, like a pool full of models. I was like, I showed everyone immediately.
Same.
Like,
Same.
literally, I was showing like girls at the venue. Not that I'm trying to pick up girls, but I was like, oh, you see that guy over there? He's pretty cool. I'm not shit.
He's got rock star hair.
He does.
Yeah. The dude's just a rock star. I fucking love Otis.
I always got to grow my hair out before we do things. I never get a haircut just so I can at least pull my shit around a little bit because I can't. The energy he's got, like he gets up there and he fluffs that shit back and like I don't know. It's called Otis.
Pimp.
That's all Otis.
What else do you know about Otis Julius Clayton?
That dude's a ton
Dude,
of fun.
I've seen his wife. Like I've been on Snapchat looking at stories and seen his wife just on like a makeup ad somewhere, just on Snapchat.
His wife's like a model/actress in LA too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're killing it.
Amanda's dope. Yeah, they're dope. I love those people.
But yeah, Clayton put himself in those situations though to be out there with Otis, to be out there with Doobie. The next one, I was for sure going to put him on it because we had so much fun the first time, and he's literally like my A1 here.
Right.
And but they fucking asked for him, and I was pretty annoyed. They're like, "Yeah, lock this in. You bring in Clayton." I was like, "Well, I was going to do that, but sure. Now you can have the credit. You could write it off on your taxes." Okay?
Well, you got to look at it, dude. It's really cool that was somebody that you wanted to work with.
Yeah.
And now they're like, hey,
Well,
when we're here.
I was getting blackout drunk in Cornfield because I'm from Plattsmouth, so like we party.
Cornfields?
Yeah, we literally like drive like 15, 20 miles out in the middle of just cornfields down gravel roads and burn fires and have like a shit ton of people.
We did that shit.
Yeah, Plattsmouth ain't that far. So.
But I was getting blackout drunk to Nikki Six and shit when I was in high school. You know, so I also got a really cool opportunity on the first tour in Iowa City. Straw had like set it up where I got to drive Doobie back to his hotel, and I'm like a fan of Doobie's music, and I'm on tour, dude. And I just got a bullshit with the guy, so it was cool. It was cool as fuck. But I got to tell him that I was fucking getting blacked out to his music. It was dude.
As everybody else is, or it was,
It was just cool.
I'll never forget him telling me, like, yeah, he's in the shower. I was just like, do not go in there. It's like you're at a crossroads right now where you can make this cooler.
What Straw's doing right now is called projection.
Right.
I'd be a little curious.
Yeah, that was dope. Another cool full circle moment actually too was it Tulsa? Remember that producer?
Oh,
was
yeah.
Tulsa. So there's just like he's a pretty big producer named Young Taylor. Like his beat tag is Taylor about to fucking flex. Like you'd probably recognize it. Anyway, I used to steal his beats on my early projects I put out on SoundCloud, like a lot of them, and I know rappers in Omaha that stole his beats and shit. Anyway, after the Tulsa, it was a sold out show. It was crazy. Like I was so nervous, and Doobie had me come up on stage for the last few songs. It was the coolest night ever. But anyway, after my set, I'm heading outside to go smoke a cigarette, and this dude's following me, this skinny dude, and I know he's about to like talk to me, but I'm trying to like let the adrenaline rush chill out. Anyway, he's like, yeah, dude, I fuck with the music. I'm a producer, and he shows me his YouTube, and it's this fucking Young Taylor guy, like that I've been stealing beats from. He had like he's got like tens of millions of views on some of his beats.
He's paid.
Yeah, but no, but no, he was like, you're fucking dope as shit, whatever. And then he showed me, and I was like, oh my god, dude, I fucking steal your beats, bro. I was like, I know homies. He's like, dude, he's like, fucking send me the link to the beats that you're from. I'll send you licensing. He's like, we're good, bro. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. So now it's like anytime I need a beat, we follow each other on Instagram. I was like, hey, I want this beat, so for the Clay Jack album, he's got one of the beats, so shout out Young Taylor. But so that was another fucking sick, and after that happened, Straw witnessed the whole thing, and Straw's just like, yeah, dude, you're supposed to be here right now. So that was like another cool full circle ass moment that happened on that tour.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's dope.
Right.
That's dope. Tulsa's a sweet place. I bet that.
Yeah, it is. It was cool. That was my first time down there too. Well, in Tulsa, did we hit Tulsa on the Mayflowers tour?
Tulsa's where we wrestled.
Oh yeah, it was Tulsa. I was thinking OKC was the first time.
Where you wrestled?
Yeah. Roman Greco, or
he just pushed that all
Straw
over.
was a wrestler, and I grew up wrestling. Like that was like my sport that I like excelled at was wrestling. And then we were talking a bunch of shit, and we were driving, or Straw's driving. We're just smoking a blunt. I don't know if we're on the way
He's
to
like,
the
I'll
next
fucking
spot.
ping you.
We get straight up, and then there's this big yellow like dude in this yellow suit's a big giant statue just in front of this like stadium. So Straw pulls over. There's like turf in front of it, so we fucking wrestled at the foot of the statue, dude. Yeah,
That's
my very
funny.
first tour. I forgot that was in Tulsa. Yeah.
I almost had him turned, but I felt my heart flutter a little bit, and I knew to prove a point to the young kid I might die. So I think I was like,
Nah, he just knew that I was able to use his momentum against him, and when I tried to throw him, he was like, all right. So it's unsettled. He'll forever say that he won, but it's completely unsettled still.
It was the heart flutter.
You know what?
The heart flutter won.
It's been a few years. I'm ready to be honest. I'd whoop your ass, kid. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude.
I will fucking shake the.
Maybe then.
Hey, we can go outside of one of the turf shops.
I'm so
Go out
down.
on the golf
I'm so down.
Yeah.
He's been
There's
going to the
3 teams
gym.
right there.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Got a great big
Like,
fairway.
We're not going to do this today.
Yeah, right now is not prime. It's not like the prime time to do it.
You got to give me time to sell tickets.
Maybe like the putting green in May or something.
All nice and soft.
Yeah, that what is it like -1 out right now?
Dude,
Oh, it's up to 30.
Holy
we go
shit.
do some stem cells. Some stem cells.
Ready to go swimming? 30 degrees? Let's go.
Does him have stem cells?
Hey, might as well.
Right.
Back to the hymns.
You
I
know where-
want my
you know
12
where
bucks for the
it's
show
going?
hymns.
If they catch wind of your show, you're getting a sponsorship.
Right.
I'm not trying to insult the group of white guys at the table here, but this is we are literally their target demographic in a circle. Like,
Yep.
For sure. Oh, you fucks need us.
Right. Well, sweet, dude. What are your socials? Where can everybody find you?
Oh, it's real easy. Everything like from my Cash App to my Instagram, C10 the Rapper. That's it. It's just my email, everything. Yeah, C10 the Rapper at Xbox, Steam, whatever the fuck.
YouTube, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
YouTube, Snapchat.
There's
Facebook.
a bunch of C10s
TikTok.
on YouTube, but not C10.
C10 the Rapper. You have to search
one word.
all is one word, and no matter what you're on, Spotify, iTunes, it'll pop up with my stuff. Because there's also this German producer. I figured out he was German because I messaged him to try and ask him to stop posting so many fucking beats. Because he'll post one every other day, and it's just like the most, I don't know, like plain ass like preset beat you've ever heard. And he just like spams them to make the Spotify money and stuff. I feel, but yeah, he refuses to do it. So yeah, C10 the Rapper is all my handles and everything. All one
C10
word.
the German, you better fucking
Yeah, you better fuck off, dude. Yeah, they're coming for you, dude. Catch me in Berlin, bro.
So yeah, the album's out tomorrow, and
Out
yeah,
tomorrow,
check
man.
out, stream that out. Let's
Come to the show tonight. $10 at the door. Reverb Lounge.
yeah, let's
I'm
run
gonna
it
wear
up.
the same outfit.
Yeah, me too.
Just to keep with the theme. Well, right on, boys. We're gonna hit the button here and get on.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for coming.
Run it.
Come and jump in the ride, hop on the bus. We gon' slide, be outside when we